Computer hardware. We are going to cover computer hardware, and we'll start with the introduction, of which hardware represents the physical and tangible components of a computer. The components that can be touched, that's the computer hardware. Then we go to the examples that we can have with computer hardware. So we have the input devices, we have keyboard examples, we have mouse, we have output devices, we have printers, we have monitors. I have given some examples of the same. You can see the pictures of the same. For the keyboard, it's used for the output. Then we have the mouse, which is used for clicking. For entering, you can right click using the mouse. You can also use in either of the mouses. We have the wired mouse, we have the wireless mouse. Then we have the output devices, where we have the printer. This is an example of a printer. We have different types of printers. As we move on to the output devices into details, we'll get to learn of the different types of printers. Then we have the monitor. In the monitor, we have different types of monitors. We have the LED. We have also the monitors that were used in the long time, centuries. Then we can continue. We have the secondary storage devices, where we have the hard disk, we have the CD, we have DVD. Then we have, as examples, I have also shown pictures of the same. I have the hard disk, I have the CD, and I have the DVD. Then we have the internal components, whereby we have, e.g., for example, we have CPU, we have motherboard, and we have RAM as examples, among others. We'll do that as an example as we move on. Then we have pictures here. We have CPU, we have the motherboard there. Then we have this other one, which is the RAM, a picture of the RAM, as you can see. Then we have components of a computer. So all types of computers follow the same basic logic, structure, and perform the following 5 basic operations for converting the raw data input into information which is useful to the users. We are the users of the computers, and we have to input raw data. Then when it's upon being processed by the machine or the computers, then we have the information that we have with it. We have the 5 basic operations. We have the operation, and we have the description. We have take input. This is the process of entering data and instructions into the computer system. Then we have it stores data, that is saving data and instruction, so that they are available for processing as and when required. Then we have the processing data, which performs arithmetic and logical operations on data in order to convert them into useful information. Then we have the operation, which is the output information. This is the process of processing useful information or results for the user, such as a printed report or virtual display. Then the last one here, it controls the workflow. That is, it directs the manner. This directing the manner and sequence in which all of the above operations are performed. This is just an example of the different types of, for example, different types of basic operations of the um, computer. So let's go into details of the same. So start. So I will be taking you through computer, uh, computer hardware, which is our third topic. In the computer hardware, we have the introduction, right? We have the introduction. Uh, Hereby we'll be looking at what hardware is. What are hardware? These ones are all the physical, intangible components of a computer. For example, here as you can see, we have the monitor which you can touch. We have CPU you can touch. We have others that we will go looking into. For example, a keyboard you can touch a mouse, you can touch a hard disk, you can touch a CD, you can touch a DVD, you can touch a flash disk, you can touch a motherboard, and those are an example of hardware. Let's move on to examples, details. We have the input. We have input devices, as you can see. An example is we have a keyboard. Sorry, we have a keyboard. Then we have mouse. Is also an example of an input device. We have another example of a mouse, which is a wireless mouse. Nowadays, we use even a touchpad as an example of a mouse. Then we have the output devices, whereby we have a printer, we have a monitor. Example of a printer, we have that. Um, we have an example of a monitor, we have that. These are examples, but we have different types of other printers. We have other types of monitors. As we move on into details of the output devices, when we look at them one by one, we go look at input devices, we will see the different types of keyboards that we have, the different types of mouses that we have, the different other input devices which we have not looked at in the examples. Then we have the output devices where we have the printers, the monitors, but we look at them into details. Then we have more examples. We have the secondary storage whereby we have the hard disk. This a hard disk. This a hard disk. Sorry, it's a hard disk. This is a CD, you have all known about it, and this is a DVD. These are examples of secondary storage devices, among many others. When we go into details of looking at each and every secondary storage device and how it is stored, then we will go into details of seeing more others. Then we have the internal components. We have CPU, which we can also touch. We have the motherboard, which we can also touch, and we have also the RAM. This is a RAM. As you can see, when we open the components or the CPU, inside the CPU, we have the RAM. Inside the CPU, we have a motherboard. Inside the CPU, we have so many other tangible devices which are hardwares. Okay, so we'll go into details of the same. Then from there, we continue components of our computer. So all types of computers, they follow a same basic logical structure and they perform the following 5 basic operations for converting the raw input data, that is the data that you as a person enters, that is the raw data, into information which is now usable to the users. And the users, here we have you as a person, and we have also students that can be users, and we have others. Right? Then we have uh, that is we going to find basic operations is that it takes input, that is the process of entering data and instruction into the computer system. This is one operation. The second operation that a computer does, it stores data. That is, it saves data on instructions so that they can be available for processing, or when you require them as a person, you are able to retrieve them from where you had stored it. We have looked at where you can store. We have looked at you can store in a secondary storage. We will also look at how you can store it internally where. So we look at that. Then we have the it process data, that is, it performs arithmetic and logical operation on data in order to convert them into usable information. Then we have the other two, which is it outputs information, that is after the processing. Then we have the results, which is useful to the user, which can be printed or it can be visually displayed on your screen. Then we have it controls the workflow, that it directs the manner and sequence in which all the above operations are performed. Those are the basic operations of a computer. Thank you.